good day everyone. My name is Jack Southall and I apologize for this bullshit lighting. The light of my room has, of course in this area, has blown for some reason. So we have to use my computer as a lighting. So this may turn out to be horrible in quality or whatever, but hey, that's the best. So this is the March 2nd, 2015 edition of Monday Night Raw, which took place in New Jersey. Was it Newark or whatever the fuck you pronounce it? But yeah, quite a lot of good stuff. I actually quite enjoyed this Raw. I don't know how everyone else felt, but for me personally, I really enjoyed it. So let's kick into it. So a big portion of tonight's Raw was Seth Rollins versus Jon Stewart from The Daily Show, because right now he's like wrapping up his time on the show. Goes back to the episode from Thursday of The Daily Show where Seth Rollins came in and messed around with fucking Jon Stewart. So Rollins comes in, talks with J&J Security, and tells that Jon Stewart is going to show up, which he eventually does during the show, which I'll get to in a bit. But then Mr. Cock his fist and make it rain in that bitch, everyone's favourite, Roman Reigns, shows up. He starts talking a bit of trash and all that, and he said he's going to punch fucking Rollins in the face and all that. And so the main event is Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, which I think Randy Orton has kind of messed around with in a bit in the back because the Authority was out and Randy Orton's like, you know what you should do? You should, I don't know, put yourself in a match with Roman Reigns. Just to kind of fuck around with Seth Rollins a bit, which I thought was cool. Our first match of the evening was Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett. Now, another theme of tonight's show was with the Intercontinental Championship. It's kind of reminds me of like how they used to do the Hardcore title back in the Attitude Era, where they would always, switch champions, but it's not official this time. R-Truth was on commentary, and I just remember how R-Truth is actually really entertaining. If you guys remember his 2011 heel stuff when he was absolutely psycho, brilliant shit right there. I loved the heel R-Truth that was completely bonkers. It was great. So yeah, BMB and Ambrose have an alright match, and so R-Truth yonks the IC belt during the time that they're wrestling. And then, out of the fucking blue, Luke Harper just shows up behind him. R-Truth is scared. He's like, oh shit, and just gives the belt to Luke Harper. So Luke Harper just carries out and he buggers off with it. And so, I think Ambrose gets the roll-up and ends up winning. And so, yeah, Ambrose just goes after R-Truth and he's like, where's my belt, dude, and all that. So, this is going to be really interesting, this six-man match for the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. It should be really, really awesome with the talent that's going to be in there. I think that's going to be the match of the night, in my opinion. Next, we've got a backstage segment with a bunch of jobbers and all that, with The Miz and Damien Mizdow. Now, I thought this was going to be a reveal of the Marine 4 because, like, Summer Rae was standing right next to The Miz, so I thought this would be the Marine 4. But it wasn't. It was another thing to add to Miz and Mizdow's feud. So what's happening is last Thursday on SmackDown, I didn't watch it, but apparently Damien Mizdow did some work for The Miz in like a commercial or something. Miz got pissed off and all that, so, because the director of it says that Mizdow's better than Miz. I don't know what happened, but something like that. So we get to the video, and so for a erectile dysfunction commercial called Niagara, which is obviously taking the piss out of Viagra, and it was so dumb, just like, because Miz was making fun of Damien Mizdow in front of the green screen, so they filmed it and put it in the commercial, and then the bit where Mizdow was really, really good, they added that in, and then everyone starts laughing at the Miz, and all that. Miz gets upset at Mizdow and slaps him Mizdow was just like staring at him, nose to nose, like, fuck. And then Miz is like, come on, can't fight me, and all that. But and eventually Mizdow just goes, no, I better not. What else happened on this Raw? Bray Wyatt cuts a pretty gnarly promo on The Undertaker. So he comes out in his typical talking, and he says something like, come out, wherever he is, and something like that. So he gets a casket behind him, and like he sets it on fire, which looks awesome. Apparently, people have been saying that we may not even see friggin' Undertaker until on the night of WrestleMania. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but I think they'll do it some way. But I think the match is going to be awesome. Next, a match that I predicted was going to be on the pre-show of WrestleMania actually happened tonight. Tyson Kidd, Cesaro, and Natalya versus the Usos and Naomi. This was a pretty alright match to maybe build up to a tag team title match at Mania. So Natalya must have turned heel last week. Is she a heel? But because I don't know about this, so the Usos and Naomi win the match, and then Natty and Kidd argue, and I thought this is going to be a short heel run for Natalya, but they make up afterwards, and yeah, so maybe a Natalya and Naomi match at WrestleMania, but I think it's going to be Usos versus the Kidd and Cesaro, my boy Tyson, for the tag team titles. Next, we have this interesting segment involving John Cena. He comes out, and he wants to face Rusev at WrestleMania 31, and he tried to convince him last week to fight him at WrestleMania, but Rusev's like, no. Just flat out, nope. Then, if he doesn't accept the match, he's like, oh, well, whatever. And then he says, I will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I'm like, oh, shit, we found our winner. Stephanie McMahon comes out, and she's like, when have superstars started making their own matches? I'm pretty sure these guys have been saying, I elect myself into the Battle Royal, so I didn't really get that bit. And then she says, starts talking some shit about John Cena, which was really cool, and that the WWE doesn't revolve around him. Bullshit. So all of a sudden, Curtis Axel comes out. Axelmania was so over tonight. This crowd was really, really good. So New York, however you pronounce yourselves, you're awesome. You're much better than Memphis. And he does his little comedy routine and saying Axelmania's running wild, and he's ripping the t-shirt, and he's doing the hand gestures like Hogan does. So we get the John Cena versus Curtis Axel. John Cena is in his piss off mode and pretty much kills the poor cunt in, I don't know. So, John Cena buries Curtis Axel, which was actually kind of funny. After the match, Rusev came out with the flag, and he's like, my answer is, and then he's about to go, and everyone's just chanting either yes or no, and it's like, this is my decision, you American idiots. So, nice one, Rusev. He's actually really good on the microphone, by the way. And then he says, my answer is still no. So, I think it's going to be until, like, the week before WrestleMania before he finally says yes, in my opinion. So, we get to another segment involving Triple H, and Booker T. So, Triple H comes out and he talks about, Sting and, out WCW and putting them all out of business. The typical stuff he's been saying. And says that everyone has a different opinion on this Triple H Sting thing, because they're going to face at WrestleMania 31. He says JBL has a different opinion. Booker T has a different opinion. Calls up Booker T, and he starts saying, you think a bunch of shit and all that. But then he goes, oh, and by the way, you're fired. And talks about how power can influence people and all that. And so Booker T packs up his stuff, who is fired. He leaves, and then Trips is like, nah, I'm just shitting with you, get to the back. So next up, we have a Divas Championship match. Nikki Bella versus Paige. which I was a little bit disappointed. I thought that this was going to be like, oh, they're going to do like a 10-minute match or something ridiculous. Of course not, because give divas a chance. I don't know. So they were having a good enough match for what they had. Brie Bella just comes in and just smacks Paige around a bit, and all of a sudden AJ Lee returns, which I'm so happy about. I don't know how she's still with the company, with all the debacle that's going on with her husband, CM Punk, and what she said on Twitter, and all that other shit. So maybe at Mania, we might see a tag match, AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins, or shit, maybe a Fatal 4-Way match for the Divas title. You have Brie versus Nikki versus Paige versus AJ. That'd be okay. You know, that wouldn't be horrible. And so we get to the Daily Show with Seth Rollins, and he starts talking shit about Jon Stewart and all that with the Daily Show theme song and all. And then Jon Stewart himself ends up coming out. He talks some trash about Rollins and saying he didn't work hard to get where he did, even though he did with the independent scene. But this is kayfabe, people, kayfabe. And that he didn't work hard like some of the other legends like Bruno Sammartino, Gorilla Monsoon, which is pretty cool to say his name, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mick Foley, and a bunch of other guys. So he was really fucking good. Like, I know we love to shit on celebrity appearances most of the time. I know Wiz Khalifa's going to be on next week's Raw. Lord Almighty. No offense to anyone who's a Wiz Khalifa fan watching this. If you like his music, then that's fine with me. But so Rollins and J&J Security get pissed off at Jon Stewart, and then all of a sudden Randy Orton comes out and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? Chill. And then Jon Stewart kicks Rollins in the cock, which was hilarious. You can tell Jon Stewart is an actual wrestling fan, and not like those fucking Kathy Lee and Hoda bitches, or that girl from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just fuck that shit. Next, we have Renee Young's talking with Jon Stewart. He's freaking out about because Seth Rollins might catch him again. This is probably going to lead to Rollins versus Orton, in my opinion. And I think, you know, Jon Stewart's going to be in the corner of Randy Orton. Or maybe if they can get Stephen Colbert in there. That probably won't happen. That's just a suggestion. But then we get Luke Harper versus the most over guy in the company, Daniel Bryan. You know, they worked a really stiff match with some of the moves they were doing and all that. The stealing of the IC belt continued. So I think Barrett got it back, and then Ambrose stole it, and then R-Truth stole it, and he gave it back to Luke Harper, and then Luke Harper got kicked in the face by Dolph Ziggler. And the thing that really got me going was that Ziggler and Bryan were the only two people up, and they were eyeing each other. So this could lead to a possible feud between those two, which I would love to see. Or maybe just to one match, because if they have a match for the IC title, the prestige of that would just go up the roof, man. So if this is an excuse to get Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler, go for it. We get a Hall of Fame announcement of Alundra Blaze, which was one of the best women's wrestlers of the new generation era until she went to WCW and put the Women's Championship in the trash and nearly destroyed the Divas division. But who cares about that? She's still in the Hall of Fame. Then we get Paul Heyman's epic promo. You know, I'm not even going to talk about this. Go watch it. Just type up. It's probably on WWE's YouTube page. Go watch that promo. It's amazeballs. It's pretty much amazing. Go watch it. Then we get the main event, Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, you know. It was good enough, you know. They did a pretty good job. And then Roman Reigns, Randy Orton came in during the match on the opposite side of the Authority. He grabbed Reigns' leg and cost him the match. So he is saying to Rollins, "Hey, I'm still working for you, buddy." No, I'm not. So then I think Orton walks past the Authority guys and just leaves. And then some of the Authority comes out, and then Roman Reigns does a suicide dive and lands on all of the cunts of the Authority. He's looking like a badass, you know. You can hate Roman Reigns all you want, but I think they're starting to book him pretty good, you know. Big Show, he's taken out all the Authority members with Superman punches and spears. It was insane. So, as much as you hate Roman Reigns, I know everyone's jumping on the Roman Reigns hate bandwagon, but you gotta admit, he can be pretty good if he's booked well. So, people need to give this Reigns versus Lesnar match a chance, because I think it could be a really great match. But anyway, this is just the end of the show. What do I think of it? I'm actually going to give this Raw a thumbs up. I thought this was pretty good. But yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment on your thoughts of this Raw. Subscribe if you want to see more content from me, because I will be more as welcome to post more, especially around WrestleMania time. And check me out on Twitter, JackmanLol31, and I will see you guys next time, and I am out in 3, 2, 1.